astrology to find inner peace and fulfillment, gain a deeper understanding of themselves and others, and navigate the tricky and complex world around them, only to be left lost and confused by resources that demand too much of their time, energy, and brain power. Because no matter how much you focus or commit to learning about astrology, you're trying to decipher the world's largest encyclopedia. And while learning astrology isn't supposed to be simple, it's a whole lot easier when you can tap into the minds of the world's best astrology experts and a community of like-minded souls who are here to support you on your journey. That's where we come in. Welcome to Astrology Hub's Inner Circle, home for curious newbies, devoted enthusiasts, and anyone looking to use astrology to consciously navigate their path ahead and transform their lives. Inner Circle members get exclusive access to new astrologer guides each month to lead you through different astrological topics and perspectives, detailed live new moon and full moon forecast to guide you through the lunar cycle and work with the cosmic tides, a new mastery class each month teaching a different astrological technique so you can gain confidence in your chart reading skills, monthly live chart demos and Q&A with astrologer guides with a chance to submit your chart to be used as an example, and access to our private community where you can discuss the cosmic tides, share your art and creativity, ask questions about your chart, and share insights and resources with your fellow students. Plus, exclusive bonus supporting content, including a live new moon intention setting ceremony each month, daily text cosmic updates on important transits and energies, and bonus mastery classes on the part of Fortune and Spirit with Donna Woodwell, Retrograde Planets with Michelle Dench, and the Galactic Center with Julia Balaz. The Inner Circle community is the place for anyone hungry for meaningful connection with other students of astrology, and enrollment is currently open for new students. We know that everyone has their own unique path to discovery. The Inner Circle will meet you where you're at and give you the tools to get where you want to go with our step-by-step learning path guide. We may be all different and on our own paths, but we're all under the same sky. And our community is home to thousands of people united in our individuality and shared journey of discovery. Go to astrologyhub.com/IC23 to learn more. I really hope that you'll join us on the inside. Hello, friends. I would love to say hi to you if you are here and in the chat. I wanted to pop on today because we are, first of all, a couple things. We're closing the enrollment for the Inner Circle. Well, our promotional period is closing tomorrow night at midnight Pacific. So I'm here to answer any question that you have about that membership so that you can know if it's right for you. Number two, I wanted to hop on and do a little bit of a recap of the Game Changing Transits event that we held, was that now? Almost 2 weeks ago. And just give you my highlight summary, my notes, especially the things that with some space are still staying with me. But I also wanted to hear from you. If you were a part of that event, what were the standout things that have stayed with you? Because what I notice about these panel events or even the weekly weather or the different things that we do here at Astrology Hub is there will be certain things that astrologers say that become like this lighthouse in the storm. And I think for each person, it's a little bit different depending on where you're at. So I'll definitely share mine, but I would love if you share yours too. If you're curious about the Game Changing Transits event, which was a 2-day event featuring 12 different astrologers where 2 days, it wasn't like we were on live for 2 days. Each day was 2 hours. And we went through on day one, the upcoming global game-changing transits that are on the horizon for us collectively as humanity. And then on the second day, we went through, I like to think of them as like rites of passage transits that happen. They're personal transits, but they happen for everyone throughout your lifetime, depending on your age and your chart a little bit. So there's like a little nuances in terms of when they happen. But so it was amazing. It was literally one of my favorite events of all time that we've ever done. I learned so much. And the the feedback from all of you was overwhelmingly positive as well. And you can have lifetime access to that event when you join the inner circle within the next 48 hours. And that's a bonus that we're offering right now. But then also you can, if you want to just watch it for free in the next 48 hours, you can do that too. So that would be at astrologyhub.com/GCT replay. astrologyhub.com/game-changing transits, but GCT replay. All right. So in the meantime, if you have any questions whatsoever about game-changing transits or about the inner circle, please do put them in the chat. I will be monitoring that and answering them as we go. All right. So a couple things. On day one, we did world game-changing transits that we're all going to be experiencing within the next couple years. And I would say that my biggest takeaway from this day was that there is a huge sweep of change that we're in the midst of, obviously, but that is really like inevitable, big change, not just like little, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. Not little changes, but like the kinds of big changes where in 20 years from now, we'll look back and it'll be mind-boggling how much has shifted. Potentially in the arena of air travel, which has actually been kind of fun for me to consider lately. I'm like, because literally 2 or 3 days after the event, I saw this thing on the news about, I think they call them supersonic jets or maybe just sonic jets, but air travel that will be totally transformed. So that is one thing. But in general, it's just, I love how Jamie McGee says, we're not writing a new chapter, we're writing a new novel. It's massive, how big the change is going to be. And one of the things that they said in terms of navigating this is for one, don't resist. Like it's time to find that adventurous side of us that's like, okay, we don't know what that looks like. We don't exactly know what, how we're going to respond to it. But I'm willing to harness that adventurous spirit and move toward it and not have that like complete resistance to it. On the other hand, I love that they gave this caveat. They said, do not allow yourself to just get completely swept up in it and not have any mindfulness or intentionality or connection to your values as you navigate the tides ahead. So let me flip that around. Instead of don't, I'll say do. Be mindful, be intentional, and get very clear on your values and the things that are non-negotiables for you as you navigate these changing waters ahead. Does that make sense? So, and I think that the other word that they used was strategic, which a lot of times when I'm listening to the weather that the astrologers will be talking about, when it's a bold, new adventures period of time, they don't always use the word strategic. They don't always interpret the energies as one where it's important to be, not just like jump in Aries style completely, but have a little bit more of a strategy, like a little bit more of a holding back in terms of the different changes that you might be considering. So I'm going to start with a question for you here. Are you navigating bold new changes in your life? And if you are, if you don't mind sharing, what kinds of things are you navigating? Is it like new career? Is it moving? Is it, just trying on new roles, maybe becoming a parent, getting married, opting out of a current relationship? Like, what are the big changes that you're navigating personally? And how are you seeing this be strategic element play in? And maybe you don't know yet, and that's totally okay, but these things are coming. Okay. And I am actually continue to put your questions in the chat, and I will definitely be monitoring those in a second after I do my recap. Okay. And then, so that's big, global, that's unavoidable. We're all going to be in this big, huge time of change. Technology is like at the core of that change.
So artificial intelligence and virtual reality and all these different things that we're hearing about, but they still feel a little bit, I don't know, AI always felt a little bit on the horizon for me until about the last 2-3 months where I went, oh, wow, like I, this thing's huge and real. And for the first time, I can see how it could help, but I'm also really clear on where I want to be careful. Again, that sort of like, I'm aware of the change. I'm not totally resistant to it, but I'm also going to be careful with how I engage with it and not just be like, oh, let's just automate everything. Everything could be automated. Oh, another thing that they talked about was how important staying connected to the heart is going to be, which I think is really, really interesting. And I think that especially any of you in the business world or you have projects that you're working on and you're looking at how you might use some of these emerging technologies, but also what might continue to set you apart. And for me, I know personally, and this has always been the truth for me, is that the heart is at the core of what makes something like so unique and so real and helpful for people. For me, it always comes back to the heart, but I think it's going to become even more and more and more important. It's one of the things in our inner circle membership that we are so clear on as a value add for our members. It's like, yes, you're going to learn. Yes, you're going to learn from the best in the industry, from the best in the world. And we purposefully select astrologers that are also going to help you embody this wisdom. They're going to help you use it to live a better life. It's not just about technique. It is about technique, but it's also about how do you actually like anchor that in your body, use it in your life, and use it to navigate through really like challenging times, really empowering times, all the above. Okay, I hope that makes sense. On day 2, yeah, Gabrielle Rose, I feel very scared of all the tech and AI changes, horrified actually. Yes, I'm a Capricorn that loves old world. Old world. See, this is the thing, Gabrielle. I'm a Capricorn too, and I love tradition. I love the rhythm of that's what I love the most about tradition. I love the rhythm of cycles. With my daughters, we do different things at the beginning of each season. We'll bring, I live in Hawaii, so the seasons aren't super clear, but we kind of bring spring to us and we bring fall to us, and we do certain things at different times of year that really feel connected to a sense of rhythm and nature. And so I'm with you. And that is one of my non-negotiables. You see, so I was saying before, what are your values? What do you hold dear? What are you unwilling to compromise? And can you like be open to some of the changes while being very clear that there are things in your life that you value so deeply you are not willing to let go of? I hope that example helps a little bit of how at least I'm thinking of things like this. Okay. Question. I know that this is a big question, and I'm just going to take this because I see people talking about it in the chat. The time of the inner circle calls and being available to attend them live. So one of the things, I don't know if you noticed, Katie, but I did 3 podcast episodes recently with 3 inner circle members who are all international. One of them was domestic US. The other 3 are all international. One living in Amsterdam, one living in New Zealand, and the other one living in Germany. And they are like our poster children for the inner circle. They have gotten so much out of the membership, and they are international. What they said is they join any live events that they can, because we do vary the times of the ceremonies, we vary the times of the forecasts, we vary the times of the live Q&A. Yes, we are US based, so a lot of times they're going to be within somewhat of the working hours within the United States, but there are times where that works out for our international friends. Especially, I'm in Hawaii, so I'm 3 hours behind Pacific. So sometimes it'll be really early morning for me and later evening for you in Europe. Everything is recorded and available within 24 hours. And what I loved what Jeff said, Jeff was one of the Inner Circle members whose story I featured on the podcast. It's an astrological love story. He actually found the love of his life in the Inner Circle, which was so fun to talk about. But one thing that he said is that he feels just as connected to the community, even when he tunes into the broadcast recording. The other thing is our Mighty Networks community, which is our private community where we're all engaging with each other. That's open 24/7. So you can always go in there, post something, respond to other members, and get responses from people all around the world at all times. So I hope that helps. Also, the mastery classes that you get as a part of your membership every month, those are recorded. So you get access to those on the new moon. And then you can watch those at your convenience. And then we have a live Q&A that happens 3 weeks after we release the mastery class on the new moon. One more thing I want to say about that is the new and the full moon forecasts happen like anywhere from 3 to 5 days before the actual new or full moon. So we give you enough time to get the recording and get acclimated with the lunar cycle before the lunar cycle happens or before the full moon happens. So, and finally, one last thing on that, the new and the full moon broadcast, it's not just about the new moon or just about the full moon. It's about the new moon and the following two weeks, the full moon and the following 2 weeks. So the entire lunar cycle is covered in both that new and full moon broadcast. I hope that helps, Katie. And let me know if you have any follow-up questions from that. Okay. Okay. Oh, Julie Woolley. I love that. Says the IC is a really beautiful place. I'm so glad I joined. My only great regret is not joining it sooner. Awesome. Thank you for that. And just so you know, the promotional pricing for the Inner Circle is ending tomorrow at midnight Pacific. So we have a little less than 48 hours from now for you to join at the $37 a month price point. After midnight tomorrow, it's going to go up to $67 a month. So this is a promotional pricing. You will lock in that price though. You don't have to worry that it's going to increase on you. We will, whatever membership price you join at is your membership price. We will not just go, oh, oops, sorry, we've raised your price to $67. You have locked in your $37 price. We have founding members who have locked in an even lower price that we offered only for the first 2 years of the membership, which we've had this membership for about 7 years now. So they're locked in with that pricing. When we did increase it a little bit a few years back, those members have locked in that pricing. So you can lock it in right now and there's no contract. So it would be a great time to just go in, try it, see if it's right for you. And if you want to leave at any point, you can. But that $37 promo price is available for the next little less than 48 hours for you. Okay. All right. So now I want to talk about the personal game-changing transits day and what I learned on that day, like my biggest takeaway. And I don't know if I'm the only one, and I feel a little embarrassed admitting this, but what we did on that day was we laid out the entire life, your entire life cycle. Hopefully we all get to live until we've experienced some of the later transits. But we broke it down into transits that everyone goes through before the Saturn return. So before age 28 to 30-ish, there are some set in stone transits that are they really shift things for us as we're growing up. And even if you're beyond that age, it's really helpful to reflect. But also I have children, so I'm watching my kids walk through these portals, these rites of passage. And it is like, I will literally have days, especially like, for example, when my daughter turned 14. So that's her Saturn opposition. And it was like, oh my God, I live with a different person. I like went from living with a young lady to having another woman in my house. And it was like, whoa, this is amazing how like clockwork it is, So we have these transits before the Saturn return. Then we have the midlife cluster of transits. And I say cluster because it is a bit of a cluster. And I think all of us who have gone through those transits or are in those transits can attest, like there's a lot of big big waves that you navigate. There's a reason why they call that time the midlife crisis, because first of all, I don't think that the midlife crisis, as most people talk about it, I don't think they realize how astrologically timed it is. But when you understand the astrology, it's like, oh, wow, like no wonder people like go through that moment in time where they reflect on their life and have that reality check of, wow, like, is this where I want to be? Is this what I came here to do? And those who are bringing some consciousness to that period of time can actually leverage all of those changing tides to get in alignment with their path, theoretically, without totally burning the house down. Whereas those that are unaware, I think a lot of times they think the only option is to completely burn everything to the ground. And sometimes that's true. But what I'm seeing here is the awareness just gives so much choice, because then, okay, like I'm in a huge Pluto transit right now, and there are these undercurrents of change, and there are things that will have to change. There's no way I can come out of this the same as I went into it. So where do I want to direct my change energy? And how do I want to meet it? And who do I want to be on the other side of it? I had an amazing reading recently where, I've shared that I have Pluto conjunct my sun and my Venus pretty much through 2024. And I had an astrologer say to me in a reading that, and this is true of my chart for my whole life, that there is this energy of big change, and I must be willing to stand on the edge of the abyss over and over and over. And what he said is, it's like the Inanna myth. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the myth where she's this goddess, and she goes through these 7 gates, and at each gate she takes off something. She takes off her jewels, she takes off her robe, she takes off her undergarments. She enters into the underworld, and we all know that this is really the Venus story, right? But she enters into the underworld, where she is there for 3 days, and she dies, and then she's reborn. And then she comes out the other side, and she takes her place on her throne in her full, glorious, transformed place. And so he said to me, the thing is, she chooses to go under there. She's not forced. She chooses to go under there because she understands the power of transformation. She understands the alchemical process that must happen in order to continually align with one's path and emerge stronger and more glorious than ever. So that's the way that I look at a lot of those transits in the middle of life, and plus a lot of these game-changing transits that we're all in. And I know a lot of you are going through personal transits as well, where, like, how are we going to meet it? Are we going to meet it with that sense of, I can do this? It's scary. It's vulnerable. It's, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that I can do it. And I know that it's part of my path. And I know from past experience that it does make me a better person. It does make me more aligned with my path. It does make me more capable to help other people on their path. And I don't know about you, but that has always felt like a big part of what I'm here to do, is go through these experiences and learn from them so that I can share, and so that I can help others go through their own process. Okay, so I got stuck there in the middle of life, probably because that's where I'm at. Okay, so then we covered the final, not the final, but really, I love the way Georgia Stathis calls it, the 4th quarter of life, where we're moving into the elder, where we have embodied wisdom to share. And one of my biggest takeaways from this day is, the more we consciously meet the transits that happen throughout our life, the more we will be positioned as an elder to take all of that embodied wisdom and really sit in that elder seat and help the next generations. You pass on what has been learned, what has been gleaned, all the gifts, all the jewels, and share them with the generations that will be coming up next and going through these life cycle transits next. So it was amazing for me to just hear it laid out that way, to walk through life and to take each and every transit, not each and every transit, but we covered the big ones, and really, what's the biggest opportunity at each point in life. And I loved it. It was, and it gave me something to look forward to. I'm looking forward to the Chiron return. I'm looking forward to the second Saturn return. I'm looking forward to these next steps in life and thinking, in true Capricorn fashion, well, if I do a good job here, if I really meet these opportunities for change now, then these other transits, they won't have to rock me so hard. They won't have to like whip me into shape and wake me up and get me on my path, because I'm aligning with my path as I go, So, all right. I hope that is helpful to you. I'm going to look and see if you have asked any questions. Okay, so what I want to just turn the tables now to you. Be here and available for any questions whatsoever that you have about the Game Changing Transits event, how you can get access to it, but also about the Inner Circle, since we're right here on the end of our promotional period. And I would just be so excited to welcome you into this membership. I want to let you know, I've joined some memberships lately where I feel like I signed up and I was really excited, and I kind of just got like dumped into this sea of people. And I was like, whoa, what do I do? Like, I'm here, but what do I do? So one of the things that we have developed this year that I'm really proud of is something called the Learning Path. We have a Learning Path quiz that you take right when you become a member, and that will help you assess what level of learning you're at. Depending on the level of learning you're at, we recommend where to start. And the thing that's great about this is that you can start where you're at and kind of like ignore everything else for now. And then you can take the quiz again in 6 months or in a year. And if you're ready for the next level, then you can go there next. But the thing about astrology that we've learned is that it's the study of an ever expanding universe. It is natural to feel like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. But we can also do things to help you really hone in and focus where you need to be for now, trusting that you will get to the next step when you're ready. And that at every level, there are so many gifts. There's so much to learn, and you don't need to be overwhelmed. Sometimes I think about it like if you've ever gone on a diet or you've tried a new eating plan or anything, and you feel good if you're doing it right and if it's working for you. You feel good at every step. You don't have to wait until you lost the 20 pounds or the 30 pounds or the 50 pounds or whatever to feel good. Every step of the way, it's like, wow, I feel better. I feel better. I feel better. It's the same with learning astrology. It's not like you need to wait until you're Rick Levine for it to be useful or helpful. It's not like you need to wait to be at the level of any of the Inner Circle astrologer guides before it's helpful and useful and you're using it in your life to make decisions. So that's why we created the Learning Path quiz, just to make it easy for you to go in. It's fun. The members love it. But you go in and you find out what phase you're at. And of course, we mapped the phases with the moon cycle, so you can find out which phase. Are you at the first quarter? Are you at the full moon? Are you at the third quarter? Are you at the new moon? So that is available for you as a member. So if you're interested in checking out the Inner Circle, go to astrologyhub.com/IC23. We'll put the link on the screen as well. astrologyhub.com/IC23. Okay. Susan, I'm moving home, changing work, clearing friends, creative, artistic, writing 2 books, eager to commence my next phase of life. I love Pluto. Susan, thank you for that. That actually, I love it because it gives me so much inspiration that you can't see. Susan, you're meeting Pluto and doing what Pluto wants us to do, was to just like go through and change and be okay with it and take the gifts of that change. So thank you for sharing that. Astrology study played a part in my pathway. Exactly. All right, let's see if anyone, Cosmic Rose, I loved experiencing my mom and stepdad going through their Uranus return. Speak your truth. That is so cool. I love that. Abby, as an elder, I also value and honor the wrinkles and the scars. I'm stronger because of them. Thank you, Abby. I love that. That to me is a healthy, empowering, beautiful way to view our elder years. And unfortunately, I don't feel like we live in a culture that in general values it. But one of the things that I'm getting from astrology and from all of you amazing people who inspire me all the time is this new orientation around what it means to gracefully move into those years of life and accept the gifts and honor the gifts of each phase of life. And anyways, Abby, thanks for sharing. That gives me lots to look forward to. And I've always felt, even for my children, like one of my main responsibilities as their mom is to give them something to look forward to. I don't want them to think that like high school is the glory days or college is the best time of your life. Like, that's sad to me. It's like, oh, then everything else after that just gets worse. It's like, no, actually it gets better and better and better and better. So thanks for that. Okay. I want to answer. Okay. Oh, Priscilla, thanks. Priscilla says, I love Astrology Hub. Thank you. We love you too. Where's the Merlin? The Merlin is traveling. And I do believe we're going to be able to do a cosmic connection with him tomorrow. I'll let him share. No, Thursday. I'll let him share with all of you what he, where he is and what he's doing. He also has agreed to be an Inner Circle astrologer guide next year. So we're really looking forward to that. All of our Inner Circle students we all love Rick Merlin Levine. He's usually so busy. He has been an Inner Circle astrologer guide before, but he's going to be with us again. Okay. Okay, Misfortune. It really is online for sure. As much as I want a physical community, I've come to peace that online might be at least the starting point or the way it stays. Grateful either way. Misfortune. What I would say to you is that I completely agree. And from the very beginning, it's been very important to me that we use technology to find each other online, to find who we resonate with, to find our soul family, our star family, as we like to say in the Inner Circle. But it's not the end goal. In 2024, we are planning to do a live event. So this will be the first time where we're actually bringing our community together in person. And we've been wanting to do this for years. And the last time where it was like, okay, we're doing it, was literally like January of 2020. I remember me and my team saying, okay, let's get started. Let's start planning this event. And it was in 2020. And within months, it was like, okay, I guess we're not planning the live event for now. And who knows how long it'll have to be. So we are planning on doing something in 2024. So, and we're thinking late August, like maybe the last weekend in August. So like pencil that in. We don't have location. We don't have clarity on dates. But one of the things that we're very clear about is we want this event to be experiential. We can do lots of talking to you on Zoom or online on the podcast. What we want this to be is very engaged, interactive. We want to go out under the stars. We want to do things together and make it very connected and very heart-based. So really looking forward to that. Don't have any more to give you about how that's going to unfold. Okay, I'm looking for, Sarah has a question about the rooms in Mighty Network. Okay, let me look for your question, Sarah. Sarah says, are there plans to add additional rooms in the IC? Okay, so just for those of you who don't know what that means, we have a private community. We decided a while ago to move off Facebook and into a platform called Mighty Networks, which enables us superior organization and also the ability to make interest rooms. So right now we have a marketplace where people can post, I'm an artist and I made this astrology art, like check it out. Or so-and-so did a podcast and it's so great. Everybody, check it out. So that's one room. We have a newbie corner for new people that are in the inner circle who are new to astrology and they're intimidated to ask a question. They feel like, oh no, like, is this a dumb question? I don't know where to post it. So newbie corner is where you go and you ask anything and you don't hesitate to ask any question, no matter where you're starting. It's okay to say like, I don't even know how to run a chart. I don't even know how to find the degrees. Those kinds of questions can go in the newbie corner. What's a rising sign? Or, how do I find my Venus? Like those things can go over there. We also, for the more advanced students, we have a chart reading study group where members are posting their charts and they're asking questions and bouncing, interpretations off each other so that you can really have a place to practice. Yes, Sarah, there are plans to add more rooms. The first thing that we want to add is what we're calling the Zodiac Lounge. But essentially what it'll be is a room for each of the zodiac signs. So you can connect with members who are going through similar transits to you. So for me, I'd go like find all the Capricorns and ask them about their Pluto transits, or I'd find the Aquarius room because I'm Aquarius rising and ask them how they're navigating Pluto moving into Aquarius. So you'll be able to find people that are going through similar transits, ask questions, see how people are navigating the different waves. And that we will be adding very soon. I think probably within the next month. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any suggestions, let us know. Like if there's anything where you're like, I wish we had this room, or I wish there was a place to do this, let us know. Okay, let's see. That is great info. I'm so newbie to IC, almost got deterred. Thank you, Mandy. You're amazing. Never to disappoint. Busy. Yes, I'm a busy bee for sure. Stephanie, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah. And we're also having a new member orientation, I think next week. I don't know exactly the date. I think it's the 12th maybe, but we'll be going through a lot of these details so that you know exactly what we have to offer, because the inner circle really offers a lot. And so what we want to do is just really streamline where you're paying attention, and just like eventually you can expand to take advantage of more of the offerings, but you don't have to take advantage of everything to get immense value for $37 a month. So I just wanted to mention that. Excited for the Fire Lounge. Ooh, Tressa, I like that idea kind of. Maybe like organizing it by elements. There's something cool about that. We'll see what we decide to do. Sarah, did you end up doing breakout rooms at NORWAC? I'm interested. But I think breakout rooms, it's so simple, but I can see that being super powerful. I would really love to connect with Capricorns, especially those who have earlier degrees. So they had Pluto sitting on their sun years ago, and now it's coming to me at 29 degrees. Well, it's with me and going over back and forth and back and forth. But I want to know, like, how did these things turn out? How was it for you? Was it really hard? Was it really great? I had Taylor Schuler on the podcast recently. She's one of our Astrologer Connect astrologers. And she said her Pluto on her sun, she called it a glow up. She's like, it's been a complete glow up for me. Like, it's been amazing. So I hearing stories like that is helpful. It's kind of like, I'm going to give another analogy. This is quite off topic, but I'll bring it back. But with my first daughter, the birth, I ended up having a C-section, and it was quite traumatic, the whole experience. So with my second daughter, I decided to do a home water birth. in Hawaii. So my, brand new place, I had to like find a midwife and all this, a midwife who was willing to do a VBAC, which was not the easiest thing to do, but I found one who had done like hundreds of them. She was amazing. She gave me so much confidence. But one of the things I did while I was pregnant with my second daughter was I watched this movie called Birth as We Know It. Is that the one? There were several, but there was one that told stories of home water births, and they were amazing stories. And so for me, what it was doing was helping me rewrite what's possible, because the only story I had was that it was dangerous and that it was going to be, awful. And so I needed a whole new script and a whole new storyline. And so I watched that movie like over and over and over and over to help expand my perception of what's possible. And so when I think about these rooms, these Zodiac lounge rooms, it's kind of the same thing, where we get to learn from each other's stories. We get to learn from each other's, like, what we learned through the process of navigating XYZ transit. And we can share with other people, like, here's what I did that really helped. Here's what I did that probably wasn't the best. Here's what I did, here's what I would do differently. And I think that, and we can cheerlead each other, and, you could do this and it's going to be great. So that's one of the things that I love as well. I would love a Pluto transit room. Yeah, that would be amazing. Okay. I can see that. Although if we're looking at where Pluto is, I think knowing where people's sun sign could accomplish, sun and rising could help us accomplish that as well in a different way. The thing is, we don't want so many rooms where each room gets watered down. That's what we learned already, is like each room needs to be really potent and active. Okay, so I'm here for as long as I need to be to answer any more questions. If any of you have questions about the inner circle, please let me know. Sarah did a water birth with my first. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody, but it definitely was an incredible experience for me. All right, let's see. Okay, well, you know what? If there are no other questions, we're going to close up now. If you're watching this as a recording, please don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat, and I'm very happy to answer any more questions as we go. One of the other things that has come up a lot is the inner circle only for people who want to be professional? And I just wanted to let you know that about 8% of our members are professionals. They're practicing, they're, seeing clients on a regular basis, and they get a lot out of the membership by learning from different astrologers. But that means 92% of the membership are not professionals. They're people who are just using astrology to navigate their life. They love learning about it. It's a passion for them. They love, growing with it. They love the spiritual aspect of it. So that is, that's kind of like the makeup of the membership. So there is something for everyone, all students of all levels. And again, that's why we have that learning path quiz. So if you're interested, please check it out. There's 48 more hours to join. Well, a little less than that. And you can check it out at astrologyhub.com/IC23. I can't wait to welcome you in and engage with you in our private community and learn right alongside with you. All right, take care, everybody. We will see you soon.